and welcome to another informative class with ExamPadi. Our topic today is trade. In this lesson, we will 1. Elucidate the term trade. 2. Unpack the different types of trade, their relationships and differences. And number 3, analyze the connections between various types of trade. For centuries, the exchange of goods, services and ideas has been the driving force behind economic growth, cultural exchange and global progress. From the ancient Silk Road to the modern digital marketplace, trade has evolved to shape the world we live in today. It is important to note that trade bridges the gap between what we have and what we need, fostering a win-win situation for the parties involved. What then is trade? Trade refers to exchanging goods, services, or something of value between businesses, organizations, or individuals. It involves buying and selling activities with the aim of earning a profit. This diagram shows the division of trade. Come along with me as we explore the types of trade. Number 1, home, otherwise local or internal or domestic trade. Number 2, foreign or otherwise known as external or international trade. And number 3, entrepot. Let's discuss the types of trade in detail. Number 1, home trade. This is the buying and selling of goods and services within a country. Buying goods and services from Lagos to Port Harcourt, Onitsha, and Aba is a home trade. It is within Nigeria. Examples of domestic trade are A. Retail trade. Retail trade is when the retailer buys goods in small quantities from the wholesaler or manufacturer and sells them to final users, known as consumer. B. Wholesale trade. This is a trade in which the buyer purchases goods in bulk or large quantities from the producer or manufacturer and sells them in small quantities to a retailer. The second type of trade is the foreign trade. Foreign trade is exchanging, buying and selling of goods and services between two or more countries. When Nigeria sells crude oil and gas to Japan, China or the United Kingdom, it is known as international trade. Examples of foreign trade are A. Export trade. This is the selling of goods and services produced in one country to other countries. B. Import trade. This is when businessmen in a country buy goods from foreign countries for the purpose of selling them within their country. Whether goods are bought from overseas by individuals, schools, or business organizations, import has taken place. Items such as electronics, video games, computers, motor vehicles, machines are imported from other countries. The third type of trade is entrepot. This is the reselling of imported goods from one country to another without changing or transforming the goods. Entrepot is also known as re-exporting. For example, a businessman imports computer games from Japan to Nigeria. Instead of selling them in Nigeria, he sends them to Ghana, where he is paid in foreign currency. Let's explore the relationship between home and foreign trade. Number 1, currency is the medium of exchange. It may be local or foreign currency. Number 2, profit is the motive behind any form of trade. Number 3, revenue is earned from the government. Number 4, warehouses are used to keep goods. Number 5, middlemen are involved in the trading activities. Number 6, trade leads to economic growth. And number 7, the needs or wants of consumers are met. Differences between domestic and foreign trade. Number 1, in domestic trade, The same language is used as a medium of communication among traders. For example, Lagos to Aba. In foreign trade, language used by traders as means of communication may be the same or different. For example, Nigeria to the USA, or Nigeria to China, or Nigeria to Germany, and so on. Number 2, in domestic trade, trading activities are done in the same country. While in foreign trade, trading activities are done between 2 or more countries. Number 3, the same money or currency is the medium of exchange. For example, Naira and Kobo. In foreign trade, different money or currency is the medium of exchange. For example, in Nigeria we use Naira, in the USA they use dollars. Number 4, in domestic trade, there are no barriers to free trading activities, while in foreign trade, there are many barriers to free trading activities. Number 5, in domestic trade, trading activities is subject to government regulation. In foreign trade, government regulation is restricted to one country. Number 6, in domestic trade, the revenue earned is in local currency, while in foreign trade, the revenue earned is in foreign currency. Number 7, in domestic trade, the risk involved is minimal, while in foreign trade, the risk involved is high. Number 8, in domestic trade, the political situation is the same, while in foreign trade, the political situation is not the same. Number 9, in domestic trade, the culture is the same, while in foreign trade, the culture is different. Number 10, domestic trade meets the needs of the consumers, while foreign trade leads to comparative advantages for the exporting nation. And number 11, in domestic trade, factors of production are freely used and sometimes moved. For example, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. While in foreign trade, factors of production are not freely used and restricted based on the law and government regulations. For example, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. What is the relationship between the different types of trade? As explained earlier, home trade is the buying and selling of goods and services within a nation's boundaries. In contrast, foreign trade is the exchange of goods and services between 2 or more countries, which also occurs outside a country's boundaries. Entreport trade is a form of international trade in which goods are temporarily imported into a country and then re-exported to other countries. It is mainly confined to commodities like rice, sugar, coffee, copper, wheat, and agricultural products. This is possible with countries that have free trade zones where goods can be imported without incurring import or custom duties. We have come to the end of this lesson. Attempt these questions to assess yourself. Number 1, define the term trade. Number 2, if a firm has imported a product, what could be the reason for it to re-export the same product? Number 3, provide an analysis of how home trade differs from foreign trade. And number 4, interpret the relationships between different types of trade. Thank you for learning about trade with me today. Join me in the upcoming videos as we learn about home trade. Until next time, bye for now.